pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Wanda, roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley. Isaac Chavez.
Present.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Present.
John Large.
Present.
Robert Stevens.
Present.
Clarence Worthen.
Present.
Eric Woods.
Present.
Okay, next we have the minutes from the July 14th regular meeting. Are there any questions, concerns? Do you have a motion?
I make a motion to pass the minutes from July 14th, regular meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Abstain.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Abstain.
Okay, any public comments? Kayla said nothing, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, next, I'm going to open the public hearing, recess the council meeting on ordinance number 25-14. Did she tell you anything about that? It's additional appropriations.
Just no.
Okay. It's for police overtime, part-time code enforcement, and police fuel. This is on second reading. Do I have any comments? Questions? Sorry, that was at 7:02 that I recessed the meeting.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, anybody have anything? Okay, at 7:03, I'm going to close the public hearing and open the council meeting, and we have ordinance number 25-14 on second reading.
I'll move to pass ordinance 2514 on second reading.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 25-14 passes on second reading. Next, we have ordinance number 25-15. This is on second reading, and it is an amendment to the salary ordinance for the code enforcement supervisor. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to pass ordinance 2515 on second reading.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 25-15 passes on second reading. Next, we have ordinance 25-18, and this is on first reading, and it's an additional appropriation for the fire department of $70,000 for overtime. And we can only pass it on first reading tonight because we'll have to have a public hearing for second reading.
Move to read by title only.
Oh, yeah, we might want to do that. Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Eric. Robert was second.
Yes.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
So what am I reading, this one? 2518.
25-18.
Additional appropriation ordinance 25-18. That's all I have.
That's all you have? Yep.
Okay.
Okay, do you have a motion to pass that on first reading?
Judy, is this transfer coming out of the general fund,
Yes, it's an additional appropriation out of city general.
coming out of the city
Yeah.
general?
That's almost as much as a new fireman,
I know.
so
What'd you think?
that's almost as much as a new fireman. I make a motion to pass ordinance 2518 on.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 25-18 passes on first reading. Next, we have old business. Does anybody have anything under old business? Okay, under new business, we have a resolution and an ordinance that was not on the agenda, but we're adding under new business, and resolution 25-06. You want to read that? Yeah, 25, resolution 25-06. Do you have it? If you don't, I can read it. You want me to read it? Okay, Common Council, City of Frankfort, Indiana, Resolution Number 25-06, resolution approving the transfer of municipal property by sale to the Indiana Municipal Power Agency. So we have Todd with us tonight. Are you going to be the one talking? And then also we have Alicia here for tour.
Yeah, I think Alicia's going to get involved with the contract extension. I have Clay Miller with me
Okay.
tonight.
Hi.
He's the one that worked on this, all the
Okay.
language and everything for the sale.
Okay,
But, yeah, Carol passed out some information to you guys last week. There is a line that goes through town that was built 74, Phil? 77. And we presently lease that to Duke, and they canceled the lease last year, early or late last year, which and then expires. And with that, right now, there's equipment on each end of this line, and I can pass those around if you guys want to take a look. They're responsible if this goes bad under the lease, and the pole line, everything, and there's some issues going along on there. We were approached by IMPA that they would like to purchase this line and put it in the joint transmission system, and this equipment is getting old. And they will take full responsibility for everything, do the upgrades, but there's some plates on there where some of this equipment dates back to 1974. And right now, we have a price, there's three major pieces of equipment, and we have a price of $390,570 just for the equipment. And what the unknown is the number of days it would take to replace it, but it's at the labor rate of $5,000 a day. And right now, some of these poles carry a 69,000 volt line, which we don't have the equipment or the material to service, and which would mean our inventory would have to go up. We'd have to get some different training to do some things on that. So it went through the Utility Service Board under a resolution to recommend to the council, to bring it to the council of a sale of that line to Duke, or to IMPA, I'm sorry. Clay, do you have anything on this?
Just to note, the sale of the line and the equipment. There are, in many other cases, hoops to be jumped through when a municipality is selling municipal assets. But there are some exceptions to that, including selling to another municipal agency. And even though IMPA is not a traditional city or municipal government, it is constituted as a municipal organization. I call your attention to section 4.01 on the purchase agreement, the asset purchase agreement on page 4. Buyer is a body, corporate and politic and political subdivision of the state of Indiana. So it's a cleaner sale that you're able to approve. The other thing I would just note, if you flip over to page 5, section 5.02, the utility is going to be able to continue to use this line with utility lines of our own, to be able to continue to have that, even though we're selling the line and the poles.
That is correct. So with no pole attachment fees or anything like that, yeah.
so by approving the resolution, this also is the asset purchase agreement that we're approving as well.
Correct.
That'd be two different.
Two different.
So
Two different.
the asset purchase agreement will need to be signed by, I believe, the mayor and by Carol if it is approved. The resolution is a resolution approving that asset purchase agreement. So we don't need to approve both. We just need to do the resolution, and by nature that approves the
Okay.
agreement.
That's what I thought, so, okay. Does anybody have any questions?
So this is, who determined the value of the asset? Was it some kind of a certified appraiser, or is this just,
It was, IMPA went through it because we had looked at it about a year and a half ago, and then we had them go back and look at it again, and there was at one time where we thought we were going to have to get 3 independent appraisals. And when the dollar amount started adding up, the least expensive one, I'm going to put it, was over $14,000 to get, and that was the least expensive, but we had to have an independent engineering firm, and they all had to be independent people. So
Under the other scenario.
under the other scenario, but when Clay was discussing this with IMPA, I believe it was, that they found that we didn't have to go through all that to get that.
Just to follow up on that, so my first question to IMPA is, why do you think we can do this without having to get 3 appraisals and follow that? And their lawyer sent me the foundational documents for IMPA, which I didn't have, but that then satisfied me, and I think satisfied Alicia, that this qualified.
Thank you.
That is correct.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Just to double check, Todd, that 5,000 a day with IMPA assuming responsibility and not knowing a certain time frame, that is them taking on the 5,000 as well, correct?
Oh, that's just for the labor to install. No, once this, if you guys approve this and the sale goes through, it's all theirs to do that. And they actually, after our board passed this, they started the plan in motion to get all this replaced. It will not be on us at all. So, we were just keeping our fingers crossed, Isaac, that if it was going to fail, we hoped it failed before the lease expired. Sometimes our luck with storms and different things like that, it probably would have failed the day after the lease expired when it was all on us. But no, that all the repairs, all the upgrades, everything will be part of IMPA's responsibility. They are part of they call it a joint transmission system, a JTS, where it's Duke, IMPA, and Wabash Valley. And they all have to have so much money in assets. If the one falls behind, they just can't pay money into it. They have to get property or assets in there to balance everything out. That's why they really would like to get this. And it is a very important line from the west side to the east side, or however, east to west, because it ties our 2 substations, and then it also ties all the way going up to Burlington from the southwest of town. So it is an important piece of property, but we just don't have the ability to maintain it or anything like that, or the big dollars that it could take to fund it to do the routine, not routine maintenance, but the major maintenance on it at this point in time.
So just to clarify, and Todd kind of mentioned this, there's 2 benefits to this agreement. Number one, the municipal utilities would get the price for the purchase, so they would receive some income from this. And then the second benefit is that they would not be responsible for doing any of the repairs, which will be extremely costly if that's something that FMU is required to do. So those are the 2 kind of benefits of selling this line at this time.
Would there be any additional cost to us? Because we're on that.
No, it's in the agreement that we don't pay any pole contacts for it, anything like that. I believe Clay and I discussed it, if there would be any chance that we would want to branch off or put more on there, but that is not the case. But no, there are not. We don't pay any pole contacts to IMPA or anything.
Okay.
Just like we don't for Duke right now, and vice versa through that stretch.
Okay.
There are a series of agreements already in place that date back to 2017, which give the utility the rights to have those lines and set up the arrangements. And this sale does not interfere or change those agreements.
Okay.
Almost like a win-win.
Any other discussion? Do I have a motion?
I'll move to pass Resolution 2506.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthing.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 25-06 passes. And along with that also is the agreement for the purchase, so.
Yes.
Okay, next we have ordinance 25-19, and this is on first reading. So would we like that read by title only or its entirety?
I'm sorry, what was the ordinance number?
25-19. You all should have it. It was an addition, I believe, I don't know if she sent it at the same time or not, but it was not listed on the agenda.
It was sent all of the utility documents were sent at the same time
Did you
in
find
one
it?
email.
Okay,
It's kind of on the bottom, I think. at the back.
okay.
I make a motion to read ordinance 2519 by title only.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthing.
Aye.
Ordinance 25-19, an ordinance of the City of Frankfort, Indiana, authorizing the execution and delivery of the fifth amendatory agreement to the power sales contract between Indiana Municipal Power Agency and the City of Frankfort, Indiana, and other matters connected therewith.
Eric, I think we forgot you, didn't we?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Eric,
Make it official. Would someone like to make a motion? You want to have discussion? What do you want to do on 2519?
Now, Mary, this is the actual transition of the property. Is that what this is?
No, this is
No,
to
it's-
extend our purchase power agreement
Oh.
with IMPA
Right.
So
from where it is right now. Right now, we are the last holdout out of the 61 communities they serve. The other 60 have signed. We've been holding out for some time, but we're getting hit with a debt service because if they take debt, they're amortizing our debt over a smaller period or a shorter period of time. So in that handout that Carol had passed out for me, like this year, we're scheduled to pay $73,450 extra for debt service that otherwise we wouldn't be doing. It would be figured into our rates, but we're getting hit with that right off the top. So.
Been asking us for what, a couple of years?
Yeah, for a
anyway.
couple of years
Yeah,
now.
we've been the last one to,
Anderson just re-signed, I believe, last year about this time, and then we were the last holdout with them at this point.
And so this just extends our contracts with IMPA that we're going to continue to purchase power from them.
To what was it, Alicia, 2052? Am I,
Yeah, and then after that, it continues to extend every year. So
With
once
a
it
third-
hits, I think it's 2052, once it hits 2052, then when we get to 2026, it will extend to 2053, and when we get to 2027, it will extend to 2054, and so on. So it just kind of keeps going, which puts them in a position where they can deal with their debt service and not have to worry. There is a termination clause in there that we could use if we wanted to, but it will automatically extend for an additional year once we sign this.
no.
Is it 2052 or 2042?
Right now, we're at 2042. It'll extend it to 2052.
Got it.
Right.
So a legal question, Alicia, I remember the county catching some grief because they didn't take the opportunity on the contract renewal to renegotiate rates. Do we simply not have that ability in this renewal because it's just an
To
extension?
renegotiate rates with IMPA?
Yeah, is that not an option at all?
I mean, the contract extends until 2042 as it stands, so we could try to renegotiate rates with them. The problem is that, from my understanding, and Todd, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they're not really willing to renegotiate rates, and they don't really need to. So if we were to try to renegotiate rates, we would need to start looking at other service providers, and I don't know that that's something that is in the best interest of the municipal utilities. Todd, do you have anything to add to that?
No, one thing, let's say if we wanted to look for somewhere else right now, the way that it states, it is a 20-year notice of cancellation. So the soonest that we could actually switch providers would be 2045. So I don't know, that's really their leverage at this point in time, that they have you until 2045 anyway.
But they aren't really, my understanding is that they're not really willing to make very many changes. So while you can try to do it, it's not, you're negotiating with someone who doesn't really have to negotiate with you.
So the entire benefit is amortizing our debt, our portion of the debt over a longer period of time. So less interest. That's the benefit
Correct.
here.
And actually, we do have one of the lowest rates in the state of Indiana right now. In this whole area, you throw Duke, Tipmont, Boone REMC, but even in the IMPA, if you had this, it's page 14, shows where we are in accordance with the other member average on the rates and everything, which is it is a very low rate, but electric-wise throughout this area, we are one of the lowest in this area, and it's really due to us purchasing our power from IMPA.
So just to be clear, Alicia, we can pass this on first and second, or there's no rush on it, is there, that we could just pass it on first tonight?
Todd, do you think there's a rush on this?
When is the next meeting? I know they was hoping to get it.
September.
I don't have the date.
Yeah, if we pass it on, or if you pass it on second reading at September, then we're still good with that. The one thing on the sale, which you've already approved, that one has to go up in front of their board now for approval. So that one is, if we had an ordinance, I would have liked to have that one done on first and second, but this one will be okay on. As long as they know it's coming, I think we're okay.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Want to go 2 readings?
Yep.
Are you ready to make a motion, or you should have conversation?
I'll make a motion, we pass ordinance 2519 on first reading.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Isaac Chavez.
Aye.
Taylor Crenshaw.
Aye.
John Large.
Aye.
Robert Stevens.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 25-19 passes on first reading.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything else under new business? Do you want to take a short break before we go into work session, or you want to go ahead and adjourn the meeting and then come back for work session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we'll see you back here in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. John says 10 minutes.
Do you have any paperwork for us, Mayor, on what you have?
I do. I do. Sorry that
Can I
it,
get signatures?
oh, we do have to have signatures. Do you have the signatures on the resolution, right? And I can't sign that yet until second reading. Sorry.
Come on now.
Mayor, do you want me to stick around for the work session?
I mean, I don't think that you have to. I mean, we're gonna be
It's up to you.
we're doing budgets. I guess that's, huh? Yeah, we need signatures, yeah. Okay. Oh, Judy only. But you guys have to sign something,
Yeah, there's-
Isaac.
We didn't pass these, did we?
No.
These resolutions?
Okay, there's that. Okay. Okay, keep these, keep these paper clipped together. It's the whole thing.
Know that she needs me to be.
Oh,
It's kind
here,
of,
I need signatures.
so I think I'm good to go, unless she wants me to stay.
Oh, pass those on around.
Oh,
I'll sign page 1.
pass that to Eric.
Right, huh?
Are you good if I enter?
Yeah, yeah, okay. Do you, each one of you have one now?
Later.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a packet that I put together So, okay, give Isaac one as well.
Oh, sorry.
Are these,
For them to sign. I need signatures.
oh, they need to
They have
sign?
that.
That's for you guys to sign. So I still have some of these left. Did everybody get one?
Did they get them?
I got one. Yeah, we
Do
got
you want one, Wanda?
Great.
Isaac signed this one. Okay.
Should be yellow slip?
Here.
No, no.
Sorry. Thank you. Got one more for you.
Well, that would have been a quick meeting.
That was kind of quick.
Oh, here's that.
Thank you.
Oh, who I signed?
We just get handed this right here?
Oh, oh, page 2.
That was the mayor's proposal, but a few changes she's made. Dude, I got so much paper. I know.
Oh, there you go. Sign in 2 places. Mayor. Oh, no, no.
Oh, Mira. Wrong one. Tell Carol she has to make that work. Or we'll.
Okay.
Signed it. Shoot.
Okay, so Judy only signs. Did you already sign this one?
I think I signed that one.
So you signed that one.
Okay.
Sign this one.
Okay, John.
This one. I know, right?
Here he comes. You're at 8 minutes. Would you hurry up?
Judy only signs in 2 places. Did you already sign this
Did I already sign it?
one? No, this is
Oh, make me sign the right place. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, I'd like to start out first and explain a little bit about what I have done in the last few days. I've spent sleepless nights all weekend, all day today, trying to figure out how to make this budget work. I got with Jerry Hickman today, and I asked him, this is my version that I'm presenting to the council for you to look at and to see if you would be able to pass this. Your version is still there with Reedy. You can still get it whenever you want it, but this is my version that I've asked them to do. So as you look down through this, as you can see, I've made lots of changes. I've asked for a 2% salary increase and 4 new firefighters. We've had to make several changes. If you look down through, number 1, it talks about, do you have the email that you're looking at? Adding the 2 additional firefighters, a 2% salary increase, and then the general fund changes. You can go down through there. It is A through J. And it tells you different general fund changes, and then we moved all the capital out of general fund into CCD. shifted some of the Board of Works electric water sewage to riverboat. There's different changes there, as you can see when you go down through there. Some of the life insurance changes, that was just a matter of we've always over budgeted that every year, so I just put that into perspective. I talked to Cheryl last Friday and were able to take care of that. Eric and I were in a meeting with health insurance. What day was that? Friday. And I clarified this today with Mark Bauer, and I had a 5% increase, and that's going to go to a 3% increase because he said it's at about a 2.6% increase that they expect for next year. That's the projections. And we're a little under budget this year, so we should be good. But you never know. I mean, that's health insurance, but that's okay. I mean, we know that. We understand that with the type of health insurance that we have. Dental, vision, and hearing, I had to change it because we've under budgeted that for probably the last 3 or 4 years. Of course, there's going to be changes to the fire pension just because of the increase of the 2 firefighters. We no longer have a zoo at the park. I'm hoping to have that effective October 1st, and that would be not having zookeepers and also taking all the money out of the petting zoo that I had put in. We have a donations fund for the petting zoo that has over $10,000 in it right now. So if we need money next year for that, we would have that. I also made a reduction in the pool from $15,000 to $10,000, and that's for expenses, but we had also raised that in another part of the budget significantly, so I think we're going to be okay to do that. As I said, we moved all the capital into CCD and also moved the electric, water, and sewage to Riverboat. As far as Riverboat, we increased it from 22.5 to 45 for the 2 additional firefighters' radios. Also, in lit public safety, added the 2 firefighters in there, and the police vehicles that we had 159,000 in. I have asked the RDC. I had a meeting today with Joe, and I plan to go to the next redevelopment commission meeting and ask them to purchase those 3 vehicles for the police department. Vehicles only, not the equipment, just the vehicles at $159,000. I don't know if they will do that or not, but that's what I'm going to ask them to do. Shifted some of the police vehicle equipment to CCD, the body cameras, fire radios, and the fire vehicle to CCD. I asked them to take out the trail initiative from $25,000 down to 0. We have not used that for the past 2 years, and I don't see any movement on trail initiative. And if it's something we decide to do, we can always go back and do additional or find out how to pay for that. We went for pool equipment, splash pad, I took it down from $60,000 to $50,000. I feel comfortable with doing that. We can always do additionals if we need to, but there's no sense in having that over budgeted. Then the shift of capital from general fund of $12,500. We also increased at $54,000 due to the police vehicle shift, the police body cameras, fire radios, and also the fire vehicle. So that's all in cum cap development now. So I asked them, as far as a cash reserve, which I think that's something that we have to think about, I asked them for all across the board funds that are right here that we budget every year. We're at a 23.12% cash reserve over across all of our funds. We're at 21% in city general. I feel like that's pretty significant of a cash reserve. We're going to have to get into cash in some of those funds, but to me, that's what that cash is there for. If we need things, we need to use our cash reserves. This is looking at city general of a cash reserve of 21% at $3.1 million at the end of 2026. And I know that as you look on down the road, you can look at the projections on the back. It doesn't look that great for the years to come. But we don't even know what's going to happen next year in the legislation. We're hoping that changes are made. We do this every year. We never know what's going to happen 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down. I'm just hard-pressed to sit here with $3 million and not have what we need for our employees and for our departments. I'm just saying it. That's just the way I feel about it. And I think our employees deserve a 2% raise. And so this is what I'm presenting to you tonight. Your other budget, like I said, still there. So I think Carol has it in your packets. You can see, you can compare it, you can see what's different.
So we're
But-
getting four, let me get this right, so we'd be getting 4 new firefighters.
I think that Chief Stidham gave you guys a copy of what they need, and for some reason, there was a misunderstanding on the number of firefighters that you need for the new station, and they feel like they need it. And the last thing I want to do is to have a brand-new station and not enough coverage.
Well, you can't do that.
No.
That makes everybody look silly. You can't do that.
I've worked hard on this. I've spent a lot of time on this. And I've had previous experience as budgets. I've got how many years? I've had 12 years as clerk treasurer and then my years as mayor. And I feel like this is a doable budget for us. And like I said, I had to make cuts that I maybe necessarily didn't want to. But I think we have to look real hard at this. I think we're at an important part in our budget right now to where we have to look as to what we want to do or what we want for our departments as well as for our citizens. We have to be able to provide services for them.
I gotta agree with this. I like it. I know we talked about it earlier, and it's a lot better than what we had as far, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of things over the weekend, I sat down and thought about this, and I was thinking, just cut all new vehicles total. That's what I was gonna ask.
You're good. Well, your cash reserve is,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's all good. It could do 20% with it. I mean, push comes to shove.
I mean, I understand we want a certain amount, but
Yeah.
sometimes it don't happen.
Well, the problem is the cash reserve is a snapshot for the 1 year only.
Yeah,
It is hard to ignore Reedy, who is traditionally very liberal in their projections, showing us the unsustainability of continuing those cumulative increases. By their numbers, it's unsustainable after 2027. And I don't know that we have any insight whatsoever, at least Reedy was not able to provide it, where additional revenues could be found. You know, I think the only thing we have going for us is lobbying the State House to reverse SB1
Yep.
or provide a proper level of local option income tax to at least satisfy our existing expenses. I don't think we could go to them and tell them, hey, we need millions more. But you know, we probed Reedy about this. I think we asked Barnes and Thornburg's opinion at one point in time. But that's no guarantee. I don't know, how did SB 1 pass in the House? Anybody know? I mean, obviously it was a super majority, so I'm
Oh,
gonna guess
it
very well.
was very few. One of,
That tells
was
me
there
the
7?
likelihood of
5 or 7,
major amendments
Yeah.
might be pretty low.
And you know, here's another thing that we have to look at. The lit structure is gonna be totally different. In 27, we're gonna have to sit down, it's gonna be a totally different structure. And it could very easily be that like fire EMS is gonna be under its own lit, police department for PS lit is gonna go into our edit. So, but we don't even know. I mean, anything could change between now and then, and let's hope and pray that it does. Let's hope that our legislatures look at this and realize what they're doing to our local government. But we don't know. I mean, you know, but I'm hard pressed to sit here with that type of a cash reserve at the end of 2026 and not have enough firefighters or not be able to give our employees a 2% raise. That's just my thoughts.
I think all the employees here are actually excellent, and my opinion is, I'd love to give them a lot more, but 2%, I think is a minimum we can do.
1% always seemed like a slap in the face.
That's
Yes.
what I think.
I don't want them leaving and going to another town.
I
Yeah.
never was comfortable with that. I
No.
don't think that's the right thing to do.
I asked about it across the board, and nobody seemed to be interested in that, so I just decided to ask for, you know, another percent.
Who wasn't interested in across the?
When I asked about it across the board, when you guys talked about it at budget hearings, it was brought up, you know, the difference in the budget. Nobody seemed interested, so
I just don't want to lose our guys and women to other departments in other towns.
We just need to have Reedy project out, given the information we have. I think it's very fair, especially to new hires, to know that, how tight the budget will get. And the last thing any of us want to do is lay off people because we
agree.
can't afford them in 2 years. So I think Reedy needs to do a little bit more work on this.
this is their projection that goes along with mine. That's the
Yep.
most recent one.
So
And
I
in that
think-
is not included the supplemental lit.
But it also only goes with a 1% increase in personal services over these years. We probably ought to have them project an average of what's been given instead of 1%.
I asked them to do a 2%.
And then if SB1 does call for the ES lit to be removed, they said, I think the current bill has a 1.2.
Has a cap on it.
levy
Yeah.
that we will be able to implement. I don't think they ran those numbers in here. I think what we need to ask them is say, okay, when that goes away in 2028, assume we pass the maximum that we know will be allowed today, that puts that in here, because I think they said it's less than current. And then, Matt?
Yes.
Can you remind the council what SB1 says about the county taking over a fire levy and distributing it?
Yeah, so when we met with Reedy, Reedy told us that what's going to happen is for fire and EMS, it was going to be a levy that they could put on for fire and EMS. Now, when we met with Reedy, they had stated that it could be up to 4%, but that rate would only be set by the county. So their concern was, when we had that conversation, was how is this going to impact the city? Because it's going to be worked out based on the population that you cover, and also by your call volume. For us, depending on what that percentage will be, it could be up to 4%. I know, speaking with Reedy that day, they didn't feel that it would probably get that high, only for the fact that if they get too much higher, the county is going to look as if they're raising everybody's taxes for it. So they didn't expect it to be that high, but the problem is we have no input on it. It's all going to be based around the county. Now, the concerns that we have, you know, as a fire department, not only for myself, but I've talked to all the fire chiefs out there, many of them out in the county, is you got populations of, you know, Michigan Town, Colfax are 300, 400 people. They're not going to get very much of it. So I would expect that the Frankfort Fire Department is going to get a majority of that. If we continue to stay with the townships, that will also include the township population and square mileage of that. So if we was to stick with them, then you're going to stick at that 108 to 110 square mileage of service, or of serviceable area that we have. If you go through and look at the city square mileage, it would drop tremendously because of square mileage, but again, we have the highest population. So there's a lot of ifs in there, but it sounds to me like it's a 4% max levy that they can put on the county side, and then it's going to be distributed through EMS and fire, and it's all going to be based on the population square mileage of the territories that is covered.
And they did say there's like gray areas in there
They did.
still.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't know. I
Exactly.
think nobody really knows what that's gonna bring.
Yeah, they had a lot of concerns just as well, when we spoke about it, of what's going to be the plan, you know, how are they going to, is the state going to move forward? How is the county going to move forward? And there is going to be some gray areas, I think, that we're going to have to work over for the next couple of years to get something put in place. You know, I think for the fire department, not just for the city of Frankfort, but I think countywide, you know, the fire chiefs are going to have to work with the county pretty diligently to make sure that the funds are going to be adequate enough to help supply our needs in the fire service in general.
Now, Matt, when they go to this county thing, does that is that supposed to fund all of EMS and all of the fire department?
That is one of the gray areas that Reedy didn't know.
Yeah.
They didn't know how the distribution would be. They said that the only thing they know of right now is looking through House Bill 1, that the distributions will be based on the square mileage and your population and your service calls. So that is going to be a valid question coming in the future that, you know, at this time, I can't, you know, speculate on what's going to happen. I can only say that at this time, that's probably one of the biggest gray areas right now is how that distribution is going to take place.
Not to change subjects, but this did say 2% age decrease that
Yeah.
you gave us.
Yeah, yeah. There were some cuts in there. I did go through and, you know, thought of some cuts that maybe we could do and get by and still. But as we all know, you don't know what you're gonna need or. But I had them go over all the funds, including rainy day, and that's where I came up with the percentage of cash reserve. And that's depending on, you know, what we end this year with. You know, we could have more, we could have a little bit less, but, I mean, I feel comfortable with that cash reserve that they said of 23.12%. That's a pretty decent cash reserve. Not all cities and towns have that. We haven't always had that ourselves.
I actually like this, and I was wondering if we'll have to have another meeting with Reedy here to go through some of this.
Well, I didn't know
Better?
what you wanted to do, how you want to discuss it. Like I said, the document after you guys finished your last budget hearing, still there at Reedy. This is totally what I asked them to do for me.
Okay.
Our first reading is in September,
Yeah, I know.
and this has to be advertised by August 29th, I believe.
Just,
And once you set that, once you advertise that, you cannot go above it. You can go less than that, but you cannot go over that.
with this proposal, what's left in rainy day? Anything?
Oh, the rainy day's still there, $121,000.
You didn't change any of that?
No, because we can't. I mean, that's in the rainy day fund. The only way you could spend that is appropriate that out if you need it for extra expenses. So, but I asked them to add that into the funds, current funds, right here, all of them that are listed here, that we appropriate. But I said add rainy day because to me, that's a cash reserve. Because
Did you see any increase in the rainy day at the end of the year? That we'll be able to put any more in it, or we just stuck?
we didn't put any in at the end of this year. I don't know. There's a percentage, and I don't remember what that is. There's a percentage of your balance that you can put into rainy day.
So we're talking about having this done within 19 days.
We have to advertise.
Yep.
Again, everybody just have to accept that a 23.12% quote-unquote cash reserve, which I believe is probably not necessarily a reserve as much as your in balance percentage of operation for the next year. But instead, with that being for 2026, if you do the math, the 2027, which assumes right now the 1% raise, keeps pretty much everything else. I think the only thing it doesn't take into account is the supplemental from lit that we know we
Right.
might get for 2 more roofs. You know, my quick math here shows that that goes down to 12%. So I think that's what we've got to be mindful of is the diminishing reserve down to 0, and then we're negative for 2028. So we will absolutely have to find additional revenues. There's no doubt about it. And I talked to the mayor about, you know, a major shift in how the RDC is used. You know, the RDC can be queried to find out what other economic development oriented expenses could be put through there. to help this situation, and the case could be made that we blame SB1, and really the lack of knowledge that we had on this prior, because it did come on quick, that it's necessary, and something like that doesn't actually have to be long-term. It can be, you know, a 3 to 5 year plan. You know, this right here shows probably a 5-year plan would be absolutely necessary until revenue starts creeping back up. Well, it's 2032 here, but you know, if a 5-year plan that initiates in 2026, we carry us to the end of 2031, and then we start looking good again in 2032. And that would probably be a pretty big assumption of additional tax revenue from the industrial park. But we see where the, some of the perception is on our growth in the industrial park. You know, some of the potential developments have been looked at negatively. Maybe a lot of thought on, hasn't gone into exactly what our master plan ought to be for that area, so that people are more comfortable as we look at other options. So I think this probably behooves us to get that master plan together, make sure we do not miss a tax revenue opportunity. We simply can't.
Starting in 2026, we get half of the 10% of the ConAgra as well. And I don't know for how many years that carries out. I'd have to check into that. We will get half of that 10% as it moves. So I'm going to guess, what is it? It's probably 10% every year, up to 100%. So.
Yeah, I wish we would have thought back then like we've done now with making sure we get the fire rate at a minimum on anybody coming in, not abating that. That would help it, but,
Yeah, if we could have gotten the fire rate off of them, even with the abatement, that would have helped us.
I guess I would urge the council to, you know, get behind some kind of support of the mayor to have the RDC basically retask their economic development initiatives to take on some of what we've started here.
I'm gonna ask the redevelopment commission for the police vehicles. I'm also gonna bring the hot box back up and the SS4A.
I know the hot box they have now is, I don't see how it's even safe to use at this time.
That would be, I believe, under $300,000, and RDC has that, if that's how they wanna use it.
I'm just thinking the extra firemen, because right now, just the additional appropriation tonight was 70,000 for overtime.
And that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and if we don't have the firemen, we're gonna keep paying it.
Yep.
And what are we getting out of it? Overtime and no extra band. Well, we need them in.
I mean, and that's what you run into, whether, you know, it's the firemen and it's also your capital improvements. It's the same thing. You keep your vehicles long enough. Okay, are you gonna pay a lease payment or are you gonna pay for repairs? And we're finding that out at the street department right now, along with the fire department. You know, we hang on to them, but then we have to just keep going back and repair, so, I mean, those are just some things you have to look at.
Mayor and council, can I speak on a little bit about the fire department?
I'm fine with that.
So one of the things I wanted to make sure that I sent out, and just so I think everybody here knows, that I kind of sent some information out about staffing and how the fire department works. I definitely feel like over the last few years, you know, as we've talked about this, I've talked about different NFPA codes that we're going to have to be looking at, different OSHA standards. And so one of the goals was, and I spoke to the mayor quite a bit about it, was how we need to maybe just put this in writing so that way everybody kind of has a little bit more understanding. I know there's probably a few of you who do have a good understanding of what we talk about each time, but having this in front of you for a reference to start to go over. You know, you start looking at a lot of these NFPA standards. I have the NFPA standards which I can deliver to you as needed, but I've listed them all out here. You know, what a single family dwelling structure fire would be. That's 16 personnel. You know, you're looking at my crew here today minus 4 people. You know, we're maxed out before we even get there. And again, I know a lot of you may know this, but I just want to make sure that, you know, you hear it from me, the importance of it. Yesterday, if you did not know, we had a fire at one of the apartment buildings. As you can see, just NFPA alone says there should be 29 people on that call immediately. When we start looking at all of the different types of situations here and how we operate, I wanted to put down how our operational staff looks. You know, you have a chief or deputy chief on duty every day, a captain, you have an engineer of the truck, you'll have a ladder, a lieutenant, you have 2 EMTs on a medical response, 3 firefighters, and a ladder driver. And again, there are some crews that can't even have that ladder driver on their crews as of right now. That's a huge impact to us. That's a huge impact for ISO ratings. When we went through ISO ratings, it is actually stated that a ladder truck should be going on every single structure fire that you have. And there's times we can't get that out. If we can document that over the next few years to show that that ladder truck's being operated and used, it's going to be important. I listed down here for you just to kind of take a look at is what's going to happen when it comes to the new Station 4, how the lieutenants are, the engineer, ladder operator, and a firefighter. You know, I talk about it every time with the council, and I always try to stress, you know, why it's so important to us. One of the things that I want to make sure that people do recognize is that the Frankfort Fire Department, we fill seats, and those seats have to be filled in order for us to operate. So if we have 3 people call off either sick or on injury leave, we have no option but to call in for that overtime. And as you guys know, we talked about this the last meeting, was that, you know, I haven't came back to the council, asked for money. We've really worked really hard for that, but we're really finding that this year is being pretty difficult in us being able to man those positions all the time. And why is that important to any of us? It's important because of our constituents. It's important to our community. It's important to make sure that that life safety is there. The call we had last week, I mean, the reports were there were people screaming, fire was coming through the roof. I mean, we had to get there. We don't just protect life, we protect the exposures. We protect, you know, the buildings next to. I can tell you now, the crew did a great job. They protected the exposure and we didn't lose another building. So all we lost was the building that was almost fully involved when we arrived on the scene. I know there's going to be a lot of struggles when we go through the budgets, and I do appreciate the mayor really supporting this and trying to make sure that everyone understands how important this is, not only for the fire department and my personnel, but also for, you know, building this new station. You know, equipment-wise, we talk about equipment all the time, you know, and we always want to look at, you know, what is our age of equipment? And I always get asked that question, and I tell the answer, and then, you know, we come back another year, and it's like we're still kind of questioning. So I listed that in that information that I sent out to every one of you. You know, engine one's in 2014. You're looking at 10 to 15 years, and that needs to be replaced. Well, if it's 2014, we're getting to that point already. Engine 2 is a 2020. It's owned by Center Township. Engine 3, it's currently being replaced, and you guys have already approved to purchase that apparatus, which will be here hopefully by the end of this year or first of next year. Engine 4, which is our spare engine, again, it's 2006. Multiple issues with it. Our ladder truck is a 2006. I already talked to some of the council members about, you know, those modules are not going to be manufactured anymore, and eventually that truck's just done. We won't even be able to get aftermarket parts to replace it. The command truck's a 2018. The squad truck that we was looking at trying to get replaced, it's a 2016. It's starting to have issues. The Tanker 1 and Tanker 2, those are Center Township vehicles as well. One's a 1998, the other's a 2011. The grass rig is owned by Center Township. It's a 1990, and they are currently in the process of working on how we can replace that and upgrade that unit. Special response, which carries all of our special response incident equipment, is a 2005. We have 2 hazmat trailers. The city did replace one, and the council did replace one back in 2022. We replaced one of those trailers. It was very old and leaking. And then obviously it's very expensive for us because of all the equipment that's inside of those apparatuses that we have to carry. When we talk about, you know, the types of services, again, I'm not going to read this verbatim to you because I think you guys can read it on your own and have it there. But if you look at the services that we could currently provide, we're talking a lot about the Fire 1 and 2. These are mandatory things they have to have: EMS, hazmat, confined space. There's options there of different types of trainings that every firefighter typically will go through as well. When it comes to responses, I think this is where it really becomes important for us to think about. In a structure fire, we send every apparatus is deployed to that scene along with a command truck. So you're having at least 3 engines, a command truck, and a ladder truck to one fire. If we get into the strip mall or the mercantile areas, you're looking at an engine, command, and ladder truck. And again, if you go back to what NFPA would suggest for safe operations, we're looking at 28 individuals, which we're going to arrive with 10, 11 individuals. Factories, all engines, command trucks, same as the ladder truck. One of the things that we don't really talk about often, and I want to make sure that everybody recognizes, is your rural field fires or rural structure fires. That requires us to have other people take an apparatus that is not manned, which is our tanker trucks. Those tanker trucks are not a manned piece of equipment. And so every time we have it, we have to shuffle around our personnel to try to make sure that those tankers are taken to those locations. Again, those are rural structure fires, those are rural field fires. EMS calls, we respond a lot with the EMS. We are responding right now for, any type of critical call, persons down, cardiac seizures, respiratory, choking patients. And one of the biggest things we're finding is, it's a fluid process here. We have to look at the fact of, what type of call it is, how we're going to get that response there to them. So it's important for us to remember that these are the operations that we handle each and every day at the Frankfort Fire Department with the manpower we have. By adding a new station, adding a new quint, we're going to need those manpower. And I want to make sure that you guys at least, hear it from me, how important it is that we still focus on how we're going to get these manpower at this new station. Because if time continues on and we neglect the fact of trying to get these additional manpower to man that station, we're going to have the hard conversation about what services we're going to have to drop or what things we're going to have to do. This is what we're going to need to operate. This isn't above and beyond what we want. This is just what we're going to need to operate. So keep that in mind as you kind of go through the budget and you work on this, that, how important it's going to be for us to really focus on how we get to protecting our public safety. Police and fire, it's every department in the city is valuable and they're important to me. But obviously, your public safety is going to be above and foremost what we're going to have to look at to make sure that our communities continue to be safe. So I just wanted to bring that to you. I know I got this to you a little bit later in the afternoon, so I didn't want to not at least speak about it, talk to you guys to let you understand where we're at. You now have it in front of you, so that way as we continue to move forward with this project, you will at least have an understanding of what we're going to need. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? All right, well, thank you for your time and let me speak.
So what does anybody think?
I think it's obvious we gotta have 4 guys. I think it's, we can fool ourselves and talk about it and put it off and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. We're gonna have to fully fund that fire department. With $10 million sitting there, we got 2 people there. And I think personally, looking at this, and I agree with a lot that Derek says too, but a 1% raise, I'd rather not give anything. It just seems like, that seems right to me, okay? That's just my own personal belief. 2% is really not a lot, but it's better than 1. At least you're trying to do something. So
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And I think, as Eric says, we need to look ahead, 2027, 2028, that's not known. We don't know what's gonna happen. We may be in really killer shape. We may be right here like a bunch of other cities our size. So, but we have to have police, and we have to have fire, and we have to take care of our community.
I agree.
I'm for it myself.
I'm just thinking, wasn't there a firefighter hurt yesterday in that fire?
We did. We had one firefighter who fell to the ceiling.
So if it had been hurt severely, if we don't have 4 more, that's just gonna make us even less. I mean, if we had 2 of them get hurt, where are we gonna be?
Yeah, that's my thoughts. You can be conservative. I'm very conservative myself, but there's a point where you have to really look at the hard line, and I think that's what the mayor's done, and I think that's what Derek's done, and, working together, trying to get something together. I think what we have here is something that we need to look at very strongly. We don't have much choice.
You know, if we stay understaffed and somebody gets hurt, how are we gonna explain that to the ones out there voting for us? You know, we'll explain it to the families. So,
Where do we go from here?
Well, we're gonna have first reading in September, if I'm correct on that. I think that's what is scheduled. I don't know that it says in here.
First reading of the budget, when do we have to post?
It has to be in by November 1st.
Okay.
So that just, and it's a two reading because we're two readings now.
Understand.
So, first reading would be September, second reading would be October, but an important thing is August 29th. We have to have this advertised as our budget, so that's an important thing.
Do you have to have a public hearing and all that? You have to do that?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, but that's part of the other process. I don't know if she has that in here or not. I don't think she does. Yeah, but it's a September, October meetings, first and second reading. The big thing is that where we have to put that on Gateway that shows, and like I said, once that's put on there, we cannot go over it only
And that has to be October 20, or
August.
August 29th.
I think they said August 29th,
this
so.
month. My question is, everybody good with this or not? Just-
No, I'm not. I'm not for the reasons. I think everybody in this room knows that last thing we want to do is hurt public safety. We just do not have a solid path forward. This is writing a check, but the money's not in the bank in 2 years. So I think it would behoove the council, as of right now, there is a finance committee meeting that's been asked for. Mayor, I think we talked about, the 20th or something.
I don't know if that ever, did that get set? No.
So somewhere
Whenever,
in that
that week of the
timeframe.
18th.
And I guess I didn't anticipate these changes tonight, but that was to, do the things I mentioned tonight as far as getting Reedy to project out, what our revenue options would be and to get our sustainability level down. So I wanna have that meeting for sure. That gives us plenty of time for the, advertisement and, you know, the mayor can advertise whatever she would like after these meetings. It comes down to what we pass in September, so there's still time to review, there's still time to try to find some alternative revenue methods. I don't wanna say, you know, new revenue, but, I guess a way to change that. And I do believe meeting with the RDC is maybe one of the biggest options that we have.
Yep.
So, you know, a special meeting of the RDC could be called if we get together and figure out some kind of a game plan. But those agreements would help us stave off that unsustainability factor that you guys all have right in front of you for 2028. I mean, if you look at it, it's
It's not good at all.
well, it's
Negative.
deficit spending of nearly 3 million with a year-end balance of minus 244,000. You know, I'm hopeful the State House does something, that they recognize they hit us too hard.
I think they'll have to.
But, you know, we'll have to go to work on that. We have to be willing to go down to the State House and speak with our reps and try to really talk some significant change. And then, as Matt said, we're gonna have to have a relationship with the county on this thing and talk about our current operations and what our expectations of that cut of that new county distribution would be. So, a lot going on.
We've got 18 days to do something here, so we need to make it. If you wanna get 3D in here, if you wanna do that, if you wanna get the finance committee together or something. We've got 18 days, let's don't wait till
I
the
think
last.
Steve's out until next week. He's gone.
Yeah. So,
So at least we can do that. You know, that's not gonna cost us anymore.
Judy,
Yes.
at the end of our meeting at the budget hearing, they said something about we received that grant for,
Yes.
That's not in here.
Yes, it is.
It's in there?
It's in there.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, it's in there. I had him put it in there. It's an edit.
Okay.
So, where we at? What are we doing?
Well, Eric said he wants to have a finance committee meeting, so, and I don't know, but.
Yeah, I mean, that was already previously requested by Councilman Beardsley, that I think we agreed that was in our best interest. So again, wouldn't hurt.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I'm with you.
Gives us a few more days to try to work some magic.
Eric, can I ask a question? Can you,
How do we,
RDC special meeting, is that something that you would want to maybe try to get in later this week, or are you thinking early next week?
Well, I'll leave that to the chairman, as far as, I'm sure the mayor and I can speak with the chairman and.
Oh, the
see what likelihood
RDC.
of it is.
I just need a couple
72
days to,
hour
yeah, I need
notified,
a
so.
notice out, so.
He
let me
didn't
know.
mention that today because I mentioned having Brian and Scott at the meeting on the 28th. Is that right? 28th, I think. But it's, I mean, it's up to you, but, or up to Joe, but,
Right, so typically we'd meet on the 28th. Tomorrow's the 12th. If you guys could do it early next week, I mean, I could get it advertised.
Well, that, I'm assuming the council, we would have consensus that that's an avenue worth
Yes,
going down.
yes.
and that is included in this, like I said, the 3 police cars, the SS4A, and the hot box, or something that I had already.
that's all, that's all.
It's already out of here, yeah.
Okay. As long as we can put something together by the 29th.
And,
Just have to, we have to.
and we did check with Rich Starkey today, and all those they would be approved expenses out of the RDC.
Okay, cool.
And they have, the funding and RDC.
We're gonna meet with them, the finance committee, then we need to throw something together pretty quick, so we can get this done pretty quick.
Oh, that 5%, a half percent.
Is that in there?
I don't know, I'll have to, well, it goes to RDC.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah, it will help RDC.
But if RDC is absorbing, that's all I'm
The only thing is, there's only certain things that RDC can absorb, so, I mean, like they can, public safety. Yeah, yeah.
So let me know when we're gonna meet next.
The next council meeting, September something. Second Monday, whatever that, I don't have my phone, I'm lost. I don't either. What's the next
Eighth.
one? September,
September 8th.
Eighth or ninth or
It's 8th.
Council meeting?
Eighth.
yeah,
Yeah.
second Monday. Yeah, September 8th. And then,
But the 29th is.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he told me today, 29th.
But we have to have this done by the 29th this month.
We have to know what figures we want to advertise.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right, okay. We gonna meet again, or what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to, I would think.
I think the financial committee's gonna do
Yeah.
theirs and then come to us in September. That's the way,
That'd be first reading, which you can do
Yeah.
something on first reading.
yeah.
We just, once it's advertised, you can't go over that, so, yeah.
So I'd like to know what the finance committee comes up with.
Street, when you advertise, that don't necessarily mean you get that, right? The state can,
They can, but if you've got the money there, they're not gonna. With the cash reserve we have, when I talked to Reedy today, they said that we would probably still get approved through the state.
so there's not that big of a chance we get,
No,
okay.
yeah.
There was the sanitation fund ending balance included in that total year-end cash balance.
I told him all funds including rainy day, so I'm assuming so.
I agree with all of those others with the exception of sanitation. I think we set that to where only sanitation could come out, and it was the fee base, so we might want to consider removing that to make our numbers a little bit more accurate. Because we just talked about having to, look at the sustainability of that with, needing truck repairs and such. Just one truck would eat that balance up with a purchase. It's not like we can transfer out of that to cover a fire apparatus.
Yeah, I just asked him to do that and include rainy day, because that's the only one that's not in there. And I don't know that there's any other funds that we'd want outside of rainy day or the ones that we appropriate.
Yeah, we're lucky our insurance is running good.
Yeah.
Getting that drop down's a lot of money.
And I clarified that with him again today, because we're under right now, which that doesn't mean that's the way we're gonna end the year. But they're looking at like a 2.67, so I said, ask Reedy to make it a 3% increase for next year, which maybe is a little high. But the way we're funded, our insurance, you don't know.
Well, you said normally it's a 5%, right?
That's what I always, yeah.
I'm still saving 2%.
And then on the other two insurances, I just straightened that out because we've gone years without making sure that we had enough for one up. I think it's the dental, vision, and hearing, and we've had too much in life, so I moved those around so that they about even themselves out, but I wanted it to be where it should be.
So when are we voting on that? It might sound like it's, when would we?
First reading in September is when you would vote.
When do we want to do the first reading?
It'll come as an ordinance.
Okay.
First reading in September, then because we have two readings, and then the public hearing would be in October, and the second.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how will you find out the information that the finance committee decides or comes up with?
However,
I gotta go. Can I say one thing?
yeah,
We can't have a cross-the-board raise. I know it might get talked about, but we're already having a hard time promoting people, and that cross-the-board raise, I know I advocated for it last year real heavy, but it's not helping,
Okay.
for me to promote people. I gotta go. We gotta proceed.
what were we saying?
Hope they're safe.
Yeah. What were we saying before that? What were you
He
saying?
wants to know how they're gonna find out.
Find out from the finance committee
Information and then the RDC information.
what they think.
I mean, it is up to the council. You can call a special meeting, or if you want to have a second meeting in August. It's up to you.
I just like to know what the
Would be
RDC and the
25th?
financials thinks.
Get everything typed by the 29th, that's kind of sticking the line if we could. I mean, if we can roll together, get everything put together by the 29th, then we're tight. We can have our first meeting, and we can move on and
I agree.
everything nice and smooth in. But that's my thoughts. And everybody knows what page they're on.
I agree. I mean, I know the 25th, do we have probably a special council meeting after the Board of Works?
You could have the second council meeting on the 25th.
I think that'd be really helpful.
That's what I think, too.
That the financial committee and RDC can get together before then. Let us know what they think.
So if that's what we're going to do, then we do probably need to have a special meeting of the RDC.
Okay.
But then we know where we're at, we got our answers, and we're not speculating.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I will tell you, outside of what I put in there for the RDC to pay for, I don't know how much more you can get. I mean, because there's certain regulations on what RDC can help pay for, so.
And they just do.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have rules there.
They can do public safety, they can do, like the SS4A, they can help with that, they can do equipment first, like the street department, yeah, they can do because it's anything that services that area,
Understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, should be something within the TIF area, or something that can be serviced,
Okay. All
so,
right. Okay. Do they have the money? That's the next question.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Always good thought.
So are we in agreement on the 25th?
This finance and RDC meeting be for next week
The finance,
and RDC?
we'll probably try to do a finance next week sometime, I think, didn't he say be back the 18th? Week of the 18th through the 22nd or something? And then RDC, Wanda's gonna check on that to see if they can get a special meeting.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You'll let us know when the finance meeting.
Yeah, I'll get Andrea to work on that.
So are we on for the 25th for our next council meeting?
I'm not, I couldn't hear you.
Are we on for the 25th for our next council
You
meeting?
might tell her that we're gonna go ahead, yeah.
That sounds
Yep.
good to me. What time?
I say
Seven?
7.
7 our
Same
normal
as-
time?
Yeah, because we'll have Board of Works before that.
Okay.
Yeah, if the Board of Works runs over,
We
then
can, we're
Okay.
done.
All right.
Yeah.
it sounds to me like we're gonna have another meeting.
That's all right.
Yep,
And I think we need it.
yep.
It'd be nice to see you guys again
Oh, that's cold.
anyway. Cold, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
Everybody have a wonderful evening.